Hi, Joe Cerrone.
And Alan Rosen.
Welcome to CAD 116 and our weekly Zoom classroom meeting. Alrighty, so as we take a look at the main splash page, we're running our weekly Zoom classroom meeting on Tuesday at 9:30. We've updated the calendar of upcoming events. We will have the practice exam starting next week. And so the practice exam will be available next week. We've also released our last module, which is module 11. And then last week we released part 2 of module 10. If we look at module 11, it's going to be on 3D basic navigation and visual styles. And we're just following it from the textbook. And so if we look at the chapter 33, at the end of the chapter, there's this assignment for coordinates, and then we have 2 bonus assignments regarding visual styles. So, and then as we look at what we covered last week, module 10B was to create this floor plan with a furniture plan in it. If we go to the D2L content area and we look at module 11, 3D basics, the chapter goes through setting up 3D drawings, looking at drawings in wireframe versus solid models, and then coordinate entry and working with these different coordinate systems and being able to navigate the coordinate system, and then also being able to work with different visual styles. And so what we want you to do is answer the questions from the end of the chapter, and you can just put these right in the textbook. And so as we look at these questions, we have these 5 different questions with A, B, C, D through K. There is a student drawing that you can download to answer these questions. So if we click on that and then we open that file, you will get the student drawing file. And then if we look at that in model space, what we have here is we have put the UCS coordinate system on the model as they have specified it. And then if we take a look at the questions from our D2L, examine the 3D geometry shown in figure, specify the design coordinates in the specified formats below. So you've got A, B, C, D, and so A, B, C, and D are on the floor of the product. And if we were to go and analyze those coordinates, what we would do is we would come back here to our CAD model. And then what we want to do is we want to make sure that our 3DO snaps are enabled. And so we have snap and grid. We enable our snap and grid. And we really don't need snap and grid. We need OSnap. And so we want our OSnap enabled and our 3DO snap enabled. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at inquiry questions. And so, for example, if we wanted to go and answer one of the questions, given the coordinate of corner D in absolute Cartesian coordinate system, that would be this coordinate right here, what we would do is we would use a utility command called ID point. And so we'd say ID point, and then we go and select that intersection or that vertex, and it tells me that X is 4 and Y is 3. And so we could go and we could just put in a text. We'll go with multi-line text style. And then we would say 5A, and we'll give that coordinate. And 5A for that coordinate was ID point 4, 3. And it would be 4, 3, 0 because the z-axis is 0 for that. We green check mark that. And then we can go on to the next coordinate. So if we take a look at the next question, given the coordinate of corner F in the absolute coordinates, and so F would be right up here. ID point F is x2, y0. And let's see what our z would be. The z would be 3. Given the coordinate of corner H in the absolute units, ID point, acquire the point, and that would be 0, 3, 3. And so students are to complete this drawing in that manner. There is a title block on here, and so you can answer the questions the same way that I did there, where I was just writing them. And so if I Control C, and then I'm in paper space, Control V, I'll put them off to the side here. And then we can go and answer those questions. And so that's how you'll go through and analyze our 3D model for those coordinates. Put your name on it. This will be lab number 11. This is our chapter 33 exercise. And that's basically it. It's just an analysis where we'll go through and give the coordinate values for what they're asking for. If we look at the module in D2L, there's some bonus assignments. And so if we read through the textbook information, some really nice, interesting information about working with visual styles and then working with some of these sample models. And so I've given you these sample models here, and you can download them. And then open them. And so here's this truck model. And then we can look at that. If I hold the shift key and hit the middle mouse wheel, I can go through and orbit that, be able to look at it from different viewing perspectives. We can also work with different visual styles. So we can look at that in 2D wireframe. Hidden, realistic, shaded with edges. And so there's a number of different visual styles. And as we look at how the textbook has this information presented to you, what they've done is they've said in this exercise we'll use a sample drawing and visual styles with the default visual styles. And so we'll open this truck model, and then you can toggle through these different visual styles, like a hidden visual style, 2D wireframe. You can toggle through some of these other viewing applications, but nothing really complicated. What I did was I just put it onto a title block. And so if you want to put this onto a title block, you can right mouse click and you can say from templates, and then you can go and put it into a template. If I have a download, usually I have one on my downloads. Doesn't look like my downloads are there, but if I go into D2L, I can always grab a new one. And so here under the content, we have our B-size title blocks. And so now it's in my downloads. Looks like I got the architectural one. I wanted the mechanical one. Either one is fine. And then as I work on this drawing, if I wanted to put it onto a title block, I'd say from template by right-clicking on the layout. And then I'd go to where I downloaded that. And then here's my title block. Double click in the viewport, 3D view. I have an isometric view of it. Conceptual. And then fill out the title block and put that information. It's just a nice way of presenting these different visual styles for that. And then if we look at some of the other assignments that are in the chapter from the textbook, you can open up the Opera House and do the same thing, being able to look at that from different views and different viewing perspectives. And then there's also a model of a watch, and you can go through and look at these different CAD models with the different viewports. But those are bonus. You're welcome to do this exercise as well as we start to complete our work in CAD 116. If you are interested in continuing in your CAD pursuits, we recommend you taking another CAD course. We have the CAD 117 and the CAD 118 course offered in the fall. In the summer, we offer SolidWorks and Revit and the basic AutoCAD course. And so as we work with this last module, it's module 11. It's on 3D basics. And then next week we'll go through and we'll start reviewing. And so we started to open up a review chapter, and the final review will cover these different chapters from the textbook. Nothing that we haven't seen before as far as the information goes. And we will have a practice test available for students to prepare for the final exam, which will be on May 2nd, starting on the 2nd. With that, I'm going to go back to the main splash page. Remember, you want to get everything done. If you do need some extra help, you can come in and email us and get a Zoom meeting, or you can stop in person at the Skokie campus. We're there on Wednesdays in the morning, Thursdays in the afternoon. So Wednesdays 9 a.m. until 12:30, Thursday 2 p.m. until 6, and then on Fridays virtually by Zoom.
And also Sundays.
Thanks, Al. I get kind of tied up in these. And everybody's been doing great in the class. Just keep turning that work in. If you have any questions, be sure to email us. Anything else we want to talk about, Al, before I end the Zoom meeting?
No, just make sure you check their grades, see if there's any questions. That's about it.
Yeah, make sure that you finish the quizzes as well. Is that right, Al?
That is correct.
So make sure that you turn in the assignments and the quizzes. And if you have any questions, just send us an email and we'll get right back to you. Alrighty, I'm going to stop the recording and open things up for questions.